Hello everyone. Welcome back to the second episode of UiPath Autopilot for Everyone series. In the previous video, we have discussed what is Autopilot for Everyone. And as I mentioned in the previous video, in this video, we are going to cover the licensing, roles and permissions required for the users, and any system requirement to start using Autopilot for everyone. So before proceeding with the installation, we need to make sure your organization admin has set up everything for you to make a use of Autopilot for everyone. So first we'll start with the licensing. So as on the screen you can see we have three different types of users. That is, the first one is organization administrator. Then we have the automation developer, and the last one is business user or the end user. So for each user, the licensing is like, for organization administrator, you should have an enterprise plan activated to your automation cloud. That is the first requirement. For automation developer, a valid user license supporting attended automation that is required. If you are a business user or the end user, then you must have a citizen developer, attended user, or a Autopilot Express license. So these are the licensing requirements for all the users. Then, what are the roles and permissions required to set up Autopilot for everyone? So, if you are an organization administrator, so in that scenario, you have to complete all the necessary setup in the cloud to deploy and configure Autopilot for everyone. So for that, you will need administrative access. Then if you are an automation developer, then in the orchestrator, the first one is like the automation user role must be assigned to your Autopilot folder. So whenever we are going to set up an Autopilot for everyone, then Autopilot folder will be created in the orchestrator. So to that particular folder, automation user role must be assigned. Then the second point is the enable user to run automation must be selected in orchestrator. Then view permissions or resources overrides in the autopilot folder must be granted. So those are required for automation developer. Then for the business user, the automation user role must be assigned to the automation folder, and the enable user to run automation option must be selected in the orchestrator. So those are roles and permissions required for organization administrator, automation developer, and the end user. Now, for the installation and the access. If you are a organization administrator, so in that condition, your UiPath Assistant and Robot version should match 2024.10.5 or later. That is in the Enterprise Edition. That is the first requirement for the organization administrator. Then automation ops policy must be configured to enable third-party AI models and anthropic models. This is the most important condition while setting up autopilot for everyone. Then the third requirement is the document understanding service must be enabled in the tenant. Then the fourth one is user license management must be enabled for your organization. Then if you are a automation developer, so similar to the admin, UiPath Assistant and Robot version should match 2024.10.5 Enterprise Edition. Then the second condition is assistant should be installed in the user mode. Then we have the third condition, sign in to UiPath Assistant using service URL is required. Then the fourth condition is access to the autopilot folder in the tenant must be granted. Whenever we are going to configure the autopilot for everyone, then autopilot folder is already created in a particular tenant. So that should be assigned to a particular user. Then the last condition we have is the personal workspace must be enabled. So this personal workspace must be enabled because whenever you are going to write a prompt on an autopilot for everyone or on the assistant, so to process your prompt or a query, there will be a process running in the orchestrator in your personal workspace. So that's why it is needed. So we have the similar requirements for the installation and access for the business users, but there are some additional requirement, that is like make sure there is no active assistant policy that disables the autopilot widget. Then apart from that, all requirements related to installation for business user is similar to the automation developer. So these are the prerequisite for licensing, roles and permissions and system requirement before you get started with the installation. I hope you got an understanding of all those major parts. In the next video, we are going to start with the installation of Autopilot for everyone. So you make sure you are subscribed to the channel and don't forget to like, share and subscribe. In the next video, we'll meet soon. Until then, happy automation.